I'm just sitting here, lying on my bed, and wait, hold on. Did I ever turn off the camera? Shit, I left the camera on. They probably saw that. Whatever, you gotta make up for it now. Okay, here's what you're gonna do. Still not facing them, you are going to do an awesome chair spin. Forget all about that embarrassing blunder. You're gonna be awesome. Alright? 3, 2... Hello, everybody, and welcome to And I Overshot It. Just great. Hello, everybody. It's me, 2319MI. And whether you're a fan of Abandoned or a fan of just me in general, because you like my face, you have clicked on this video, and now you can't escape. Anyway, welcome to the first episode of the Abandoned sideshow, Left Behind. You're probably wondering, what exactly does Left Behind mean? I will get to that in a second. Or, if you're very impatient, you can just click on my previous update video. You just click on my name, which is probably right there, and then you'll click that, and then you'll find a video of me with this same hat in a different room. Whatever, I'm making this complicated. So, we are 11 episodes into Abandoned. That is 1/3 of the series. I have 33 planned episodes. And if you thought it was crazy so far, just wait till you see what's to come. But this isn't about the future, this is about where we are right now. Because certain characters are moving forward, while others have been eliminated, hence, they've been left behind. And that's exactly what this show is for. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a bit of a behind-the-scenes look into Abandoned, and what went into making these characters, what I would have done in the past, what I did do in the past with the character if they were on a past version of one of my TPIs, and what were some of my best moments with the characters. Now, real quick, there have been 11 episodes, which means 11 eliminations, and I'm going to be doing this show 6 eliminations at a time. So it'll go 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and then there are 32 people, so I might do a separate one for the final 2, or I might just merge that with the 5th one. So it might be 5 episodes, it might be 6. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. But because there have been 11 eliminations, and there are 6 spots for this episode, here's the rules. Obviously, because 4 contestants have returned to the game, they will not be covered this episode. They will be covered in the future, whether they are eliminated again, or they somehow win the game. And I am not going to be covering the most recent episode. Now, at the time of this recording, episode 11 has not been released yet, but if you have seen episode 11, then you'll know what happened. If not, then spoiler alert, Puchiana was sent home. I'm sorry if you're finding that out from me. I did say spoiler alert. So today we will be covering the 6 eliminated contestants that did not return to the game. So we will be covering Skitty, Minefoo, Floette, Totodile, Dodrio, and Fennekin. And you'll be seeing what went into making all of these crazy characters. So without further ado, let's get started. Fade away.
I mean, wow. This is my heaven. And I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. Wow. This place smells like flies and septic waste. So amazing!
My goodness. Of all the characters to obtain a massive fan base, I never would have guessed this girl to be one of them. Normally, the first boot would just fade into obscurity, but I don't think that's going to happen for Skitty.
But still, even if it's not called Total Pokemon Island, this is still going to be the greatest experience of my life. Did I tell you I know every single thing about every single season of every single TPI? Did I? Well, I do. I know more about the show than any other person in the whole entire world.
In the past, I've used Skitty as my Lindsay. She was the dim-witted, dumb, hot girl, and that was about it. She never really lasted too long in either of my past versions of TPI. Like, neither of those shows lasted long either, but I remember getting to her elimination both of those times. This time, I still wanted to use Skitty, but I had transferred the dumb blonde persona over to Minchino, so I needed something else. So after some careful planning, I morphed Skitty from a Lindsay into a Sierra. Sierra was a hilarious character from World Tour, from her obsession with the show, to her obsession with Chris, to her obsession with Cody! She just perfectly gave off that stalker vibe while still remaining just as lovable as some of her castmates. I had seen Sierra's on TPIs before, but it was mostly in the show's second or third seasons, when the show had started to develop some sort of a fan base. I wanted one in this season, so I made Skitty a fan of TPIs just in general, unlike the other characters I had seen who were only obsessed with a certain version of a TPI. And as for Skitty's personality, I just added most of Sierra's attributes to Skitty, with the exception of the obsession over male contestant shtick. That moved over to another character who I will discuss later.
Oh, don't worry. It's gonna be fine. It is? Yeah. Despite the amount of dangers on a show like this, no one has ever died. I mean, there's always a first for everything, but I think everyone here is pretty safe. Like, maybe 90% sure.
As for plotlines, all I really had for Skitty was the TPI obsession shtick. And as hilarious as that is, I knew it was going to get old sooner rather than later. So I knew her time on the show had to be short. And after comparison with the other early boots, it just made the most sense for her to be the first one to leave. Plus, I thought it'd be funny to add some cruel irony with the superfan being the first boot. Once that idea popped in my head, I just thought it was too good to pass up.
Skitty. What? No! Oh, thank Arceus, yes. I don't get it. Look, Skitty, it's nothing personal. It's just, there's a clash with some of the personalities here. Well, I guess I should have seen this coming. I mean, the annoying camper always goes home first. It's time to go. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye, Skitty.
My favorite Skitty moments, there were actually a couple to choose from, despite her short time on the show. But I would have to say the bit in the cave where she goes on and on with her TPI factoids. Specifically, the moment where she talks about her ex, and he tells her, like, it's the show or me. Like, you have to choose. I mean, on the one hand, it's nice that she chose her life's dream over controlling man, but on the other hand, I mean, it's just a show. Maybe try Big Brother? I don't know.
And then my boyfriend said, okay, Skitty, either quit watching your stupid shows or we are done. Well, sucks for him because no man gets in the way of my dreams.
And a quick side note with Skitty before I move on. Chances are that 17-verse TPI song is going to end up rocking the top of the charts never, but National Skitty Day will hopefully be celebrated for generations to come.
And you get to meet the host on the show that means the most to me. I know I'm intense, but I just try to bring out the best in people. And if they don't deliver, I f***ing destroy them.
This girl intimidated the crap out of the rest of the girls there. I mean, even some of the guys felt threatened by her. Unfortunately, temper and teamwork don't typically mix, and Minefoo had to learn this the hard way.
No, I can't believe it. Nor do I want to. But my therapist said this would be a good controlling mechanism for my anger problems, which I really don't have. He's such a baby.
Minefoo is a rare occurrence with the cast, as she is the only contestant that I just genuinely did not like. I hated her. I hated voicing her. I hated writing her. Like, there's a reason she got very little screen time until she went home. When I made the shortlist for the girls, I was tempted to cut Minefoo from the cast, but then I had a thought of, like, I'm gonna need people like her that I can get rid of early and that I'm not gonna hate myself for doing it. I hated eliminating Skitty, but I had no problem getting rid of Minefoo. No surprise, I modeled her after Eva, a character from Total Drama Season 1 that I'm also not a huge fan of. And I just added Eva's entire personality to Minefoo. Her attitude, her anger, her brute strength, everything. Admittedly, Minefoo is one of my lazier contestants in terms of personality, which is exactly why she left when she did.
Oh, and look, the Lunalas have caught up. Way to go!
Don't put all the blame on me. You couldn't get over the wall either. Because I knew you weren't pulling your weight. Because I need help. I'm not good with stuff like this. Well, too bad. You are not going to lose this challenge for us. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Since when does this have to do with swinging?
Minefoo's screen time, or lack thereof, mainly consisted of yelling and getting more and more pissed off. There was no humor in Minefoo, and that's something that's very important to me. I knew the longer that she stayed in the game, the more of a Buzz Killington she would have become. And that's a horrible thing for a long-term character. So, I did what I had to do.
Minefoo, that's it. You've got enough votes, all of them actually, and you are out of here. Are you kidding me? You keep that weakling over me? Give me one good reason as to why he should stay over me. Minefoo, we sent you home because you don't know how a team works. Yes, Magby struggled, but if somebody needs help, you help them, not scream in their face. Does this look like the kind of place that gives out participation awards? I proved myself, he didn't. You know what? Forget this. I don't need you guys to tell me I did a good job. I know I did great today. Screw all of you and off.
As for favorite moments, that's really hard to decide, because Minefoo's moments in the game are pretty bad. So I think the best moment for me, at least, was sending that bitch home. Having her leave in furious anger and cursing up a storm seemed almost therapeutic, knowing I wouldn't have to deal with this character in this game again.
They'll be sorry once they realize their team needs some muscle. But you know what? Who cares? Those losers sent my ass home, so why should I help them? I was the glue that held that entire team together. And without the glue, everything just falls apart. So to all my former teammates, I just have one thing to say to all of you. Kiss my ass. Ever since we were paired together in the obstacle course, I've had these very strong feelings for him. I just feel a very strong connection between the two of us. And now I think there's a huge chance he might like me back. I just have to spend more time with him. Every second of every day, I will be right by his side.
They say stop and smell the roses. And when you actually are the roses, well, I can't think of a good analogy, but whatever. Floette is someone who has such a fondness for life. It's too bad her life in the game was cut so short.
Wow, this has got to be the nicest bus I've ever been on in my entire life. Really? Do you travel a lot? Oh, no, not really. This is actually the first bus I've ever been on, but it's still the greatest experience ever!
When it comes to inspiration for the characters of this crazy show, I look to many sources for help. And Floette's character was inspired by none other than the super duper party pony herself, Pinkie Pie. For those of you that are not fellow bronies and Pegasisters, which I don't expect there to be a lot watching this, let me fill you in. Pinkie Pie is the most upbeat, happy-go-lucky, and all-around insanely peppy pony in Ponyville. And I thought that with her attitude and outlook on life, it was the perfect fit for somebody like Floette. In the past, I usually just combined the dumb blonde and the happy-go-lucky personas into one. But because I wanted more variety with the characters, I separated the two, and got Minchino and Flabebe. So we have Minchino and Flabebe, but now I'm going to go back to Skitty, because this is where her boy obsession transferred to. Because I thought it would make more sense for Floette to obsess over a boy than Skitty, since, again, Skitty only obsessed over TPIs, so I didn't really expect her to have an obsession over a guy. But Floette, on the other hand, this made sense.
So, do you think these red petals are better, or do you prefer these white ones in my hair?
I don't know. Look, Flabebe, I really need to focus right now. We don't exactly have a lot of time.
Okay, I'll just be right here, keeping a close eye on everything. And you.
God.
Floette's only real plotline was her crush on Trico. I tried to sneak in a tiny bit of build-up with the obstacle course challenge, but other than that, Floette really only had her sunny disposition. She was very under the radar until we got to the obstacle course, which only made it easier to send her home early.
Flabebe.
Oh no! Really?
Oh man, that was close.
No. I can't believe I'm out.
Flabebe, you have been eliminated from Abandoned.
Thank you for making this experience so much fun. And again, I'm really sorry I got on everyone's nerves towards the end. Especially you, Trico.
We'll miss you, Flabebe. Safe travels.
Bye, guys. Have fun.
My favorite Floette moment would have to be her giddiness after Trico kisses her. Floette was another character whose moments did not really stand out so much, kind of like Minefoo. But to just hear the joy in her voice when her crush kisses her just makes you happy. I mean, she was so happy she didn't even notice that she evolved. Which, you have to admit, that's pretty funny too. Although, I think a nice honorable mention has to be her despair over losing Trico in the challenge. I had a lot of fun recording those scenes.
I'm gonna miss you. Bye, Flabebe.
He kissed my cheek. Oh my god, this is amazing! I will never forget this, you guys. Bye!
Did she even notice the fact that she just evolved? No? Ah, well, she'll figure it out soon enough.
Okay, the next character is Totodile, but I have a lot to say about him, so I'm going to cover him at the end. So next, we have Dodrio.
When we were born, the things you'd expect in a normal one-headed Pokemon were split into two. I got the intelligence and the maturity, while my brother got recklessness, overconfidence, and he also got the looks. He's got some beauty in him that I can't lie about. Hey, look out the window. What do you think she's doing later? That's a tree, doofus. Oh.
With Dodrio, it was certainly a family divided, which is very ironic when it comes to these guys. They should have spent more time on the game than dealing with each other's faults. So, let's talk about Darren, Derek, and you know what? Let's talk about Daryl too. It's Dodrio.
Ugh, move your head, Darren.
No, I've got the incredible view.
I'll tell Mom.
How can you tell Mom? She's not on the bus. She's back home with Dad.
But she's probably gonna see this.
Oh. Hi, Mom and Dad.
Fine. Thank you.
Whenever I made casts for my shows, past and present, I saw Dodrio and I thought he'd be interesting to use, and there'd be new and fresh ideas to come with it. He never really made the cut until this time, because I wanted more conflicts on the show, and a conflict between the two heads seemed perfect. So, he made the cut. I wanted the heads to be classic polar opposites. You have the jock and the nerd, which is kind of hard to pull off when they have the same body. But with their clashing personalities, it made Dodrio one of my favorite characters to write scenes for, as he had some pretty hilarious dialogue. As for the names, I wanted similar, twin-like names. I had the name Darren in my mind because there was a video a couple years ago that was released by a channel called Dorkly called Pokemon Dissatisfied with Their Evolutions, which I recommend checking out. It's very funny. And one of the heads in that, because they had Doduo evolving into Dodrio, one of the heads in that was named Darren, and I thought, okay, I think that could work. And then Derek, I actually named after my own older brother, who I should point out is nothing like Derek on the show. I just thought it would be clever to try and sneak his name in. Interesting side note though, the other head in the Dorkly video I just mentioned was actually named Eric, so it was Darren and Eric, which I did not realize the similarity until after a few scripts were done and I was watching the video again. I'm like, huh, interesting.
Where should we go? I think the left looks better. No. Most maze enthusiasts know that 67% of the time, right is the first direction to go. But I don't. Just trust me, brother. See? What did I tell you? This is the right way. Gotcha! What? Fools.
I think I was able to work a lot into Dodrio, even with his short time on the show. He was in an alliance, albeit a pretty faulty one. He had 2 dates with Minchino and Vivillon, 2 people who I thought would be like the Heads' dream girls, if that makes any sense. And there was even a tearful reconciliation, followed by a really awkward head growth. Weird. A part of me wanted to take Dodrio longer into the game, but I thought with his predicament, it would make more sense to send him home when I did, as funny as he was. The Duo brothers. Minchino, you are safe. Well, turds. Yeah, turds. You know what? It's okay. It really is. It took 18 years, but I think we finally accepted each other as brothers, and co-owners of this body. Yeah, that too. I love you, bro. I love you too, man.
That is so sweet, you guys. There is nothing that brings more joy than a family united.
Whoa. I feel weird. Me too. What's happening? Oh my god, we're evolving! Oh, yes! Yeah! Wait. No! No! Not another one! Another one! Ow! 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 Shit! Another head! Hi. I guess you're our brother now. I'm Darren. That's Derek. Cut the crap, both of you. Okay. Hey, you can't talk to our brother like that. You want to be next? No. I don't know where the hell we are, but I want to leave. Well, lucky for you, you're heading straight for the bus of shame. Adios, boys. Who the hell's that weirdo? Trust us, it's best not to know. I thought I told you to shut up. My favorite moment with the brothers would probably have to be their big fight in episode 9. I feel like it was a perfect balance of humor and intensity with the words that were being dished out. It shows Darren standing up to his brother for chasing Vivillon away, and at the same time it showcased Derek's annoyance with his brother's vastly different personality. Plus, both brothers had some funny lines in the scene, especially Derek. I mean, with the dogfish and calling Utah a country, the guy seriously needs to go back to school and get things right. And then the one time a girl actually likes me, you go and chase her away. Well, again, as I've said before, I thought she was annoying. I've thought about 20 of your girlfriends were annoying, but I never chased them away. All of my exes have said that you were the issue in our relationships. They said it was too complicated. That's because it is too complicated. So what do you want to do? Have each of us date a girl? Because I don't think that polygamy stuff is legal, man. Except in Utah, I think. I am not saying that we should move to Utah just to have a good sex life. I'm saying that the fact that we have to deal with this in the first place is ludicrous. Well, not really that much of a choice, now is there? Oh yes, there is. I'm a smart man. I can figure out something. Like a gene splicer or something. Fantastic. Sounds perfect to me. Maybe while we're at it, I could get my pet dogfish and we'll just move off to Utah anyway. Seems like a beautiful country. Utah is a state, you idiot! Genius. Pure genius. I am so proud of myself in coming up with this. It's about time my tricks came in handy. Even better, Evie came up to me a little later and asked me to be in some alliance or something. So now I have allies. Sweet. Of all the tricks she's done, the most impressive thing Fennekin did was making her chances of winning disappear. But who would have thought that her elimination would cause such a storm of conflict? And poor Fennekin still has no idea what happened.
Hello, viewing world. This is amateur magician Fennekin, here to bring you to the amazing world of sorcery. Oh shit. Oh my god, I'm on fire. This is very unzen. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm still learning. It's okay. I got it. I'll shut up now.
When I made the cast and I was considering Fennekin, I saw so much potential. I felt like she was someone that could have worked as pretty much anything. She could have been a leader, a mastermind villain, or even the crazy goofball. I mean, she was kind of crazy, but she was more so overconfident in her abilities. I looked at her evolutions, Breakson and Delphox, and from their appearances, they seemed to be more in touch with magic. So I thought it fair for Fennekin to still be in the accident phase of her training. Bringing in another My Little Pony reference, she's kind of like Trixie, whereas she tries to be a powerful magician, but she just ends up failing and failing hard. I should point out, Trixie was not an inspiration, but it's just a nice comparison. I tried to add a few running gags to Fennekin, like the tricks failing or constantly hurting someone, like Metatite, which you can see in the early episodes, but over time, they just faded out of the plot lines.
Hang on. I think I have an idea. What are you doing? Just watch.
As mentioned before, Fennekin's original running gags were eventually removed, and I wasn't really able to find anything new for her. The only other plotline Fennekin really had were her interactions with Corfish, and once he left, it was back to square one. I thought I'd have more to work with once Fennekin evolved, but I ultimately made the call to send her home early, rather than keep her in the game with nothing to do. But of all the eliminations to go out on, you can't get much better than that one.
Fennekin.
What?
What? That can't be right. We had 6. How could there be 5?
I don't know what to tell you, Fennekin, but all votes are final. Fletchender, you are safe.
Of course. What? Guys, what happened? I don't know. I thought we had the votes.
Someone might have screwed up. Maybe they said the wrong name or something. In that case, I think I know what happened. Minchino, what did you do?
I voted for Fletchender, like we agreed.
Okay, if it wasn't Minchino, then who switched? Because it wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Me neither. Tyrogue, did you vote for Fennekin?
No.
Well then who did it?
I don't know and I don't care. All I know is that you're going home, Fennekin. Adios.
Wait, no, not yet. I need answers.
We all need answers, Fennekin. For Fennekin's best moments, it was her early tricks that flopped, such as setting Metatite on fire on the bus and burning the pile of berries. Because I thought they were nice, simple, and funny ways to introduce her character, and it showed us that she still has a lot of work to do if she wants to become a very skilled magician.
Okay, everyone, stand back. This is how you start a fire.
Oh. Shoot. Yeah, probably should have mastered that trick. Alright, I promised you guys I was going to come back to him. Now we're going to talk about Totodile. And I'm going to steer away from the format I used for the other characters for this one, because Totodile's a very interesting case. I had other plans for Totodile, but recent events have caused me to rethink what to do with him in the future. There's quite a bit to say here, so here's the story of Totodile. Planning Totodile's character was very easy. You have the crazed lunatic, 2 words that sum him up perfectly. It's a cliche, I'm aware, but when you look at Totodile, only one word comes to mind, and that's unhinged. It's very difficult to see someone like Totodile in any way other than the insane character. I put him in wanting to do something very different. I wanted there to be an actual backstory when it comes to why he's crazy, and I might still do that in the future. Everything you saw with Totodile stayed exactly the same from start to finish. The accident, the amnesia, the breakdown, everything. But the big thing here is he was supposed to come back. He was going to be on the bus in episode 11, and he was going to get another chance at the $1 million. He was going to be cleared by the doctors and be back to his normal, crazy self. However, once I got to that point in the script, and mind you, I didn't have him plan to stay for very long, part of me kind of just added him back for space. Totodile just seemed invisible. I had no idea what to do with him. He was basically filler for the rest of his stay, and I would have expanded his story more so in Season 2. But even then, I thought with all the random information I was throwing out, that I'd have to tie it together into some sort of cohesive storyline. Once I got to his elimination, I was writing out his goodbye message on the bus, and a pretty crazy idea popped into my head. Now, here's a quick note. This was an idea that, in hindsight, I'm very, very glad I did not go through with it. It would have not made any sense, and it might have even been disrespectful to his character. I do, however, still have the lines for the scene in which he was going to be sent home. So I just recorded that scene as I thought it'd be the best way to get across what I would have done differently. So here you go.
My goodness, that was quite the wild ride. I wasn't sure if I could keep up with my cover for too much longer. Who would have thought? Crazy Guy was actually a talented Australian actor. I even faked amnesia and a panic attack, and I still kept my identity a secret. Was it too far? Possibly. But if this doesn't get me some acting jobs, I don't know what will. So all you better remember this face, because this Totodile will see you soon in a theater near you. Yeah. It was all gonna be fake. I had planned for Totodile to get on that bus, start laughing, and then he'd reveal himself to be an Australian actor. Meaning every single thing Totodile did in the game was not the real Totodile. He explained that everything he had done was just so he could get his big break in the show business. The amnesia, fake. The breakdown, fake. The biting, well, that was real. But the intentions were fake. After writing it, I was very hesitant if I should do it. This was probably the scene I was going back and forth with the most out of everything I had written so far and everything I have planned so far. I was thinking of your reactions and I was like, would they get it? Would it make sense? Needless to say, I went back and forth a lot with this decision. But then I remembered what they did with Taco in Inanimate Insanity, which, if you haven't seen Inanimate Insanity, spoiler alert, sorry. She went from a crazy piece of Mexican food constantly shouting sour cream to a secret villainous mastermind. I wanted to go for that level of comedic shock. And I thought if you guys hated it, I'd just come out and say, yes, hate him, he's an asshole. I thought his character would thrive on the audience's hatred for him, and it would open the door for more possibilities. I was still going back and forth in my head if it was smart or not, but I added it to the script, and that was my plan for Totodile. Was my plan for Totodile. Now, I mentioned on DeviantArt and on Discord that Episode 8 was particularly difficult for me to release based on some personal stuff that had happened with a member of my family just a week prior. For the first time, I will be sharing some information as to what happened and its connections to the episode and Totodile. First, let me just say that the episode in particular was written months ago, probably around February or March, and it was recorded just days prior to this incident. So I, in no way, base this episode on the event. Second, like I said before, I'm not disclosing all of the information, as there are still questions that even I don't know the answer to. I will, however, for the respect of this family member, not say who's involved in this situation. Here we go. 2 Fridays before Episode 8's release, there was a member of my family who was contemplating suicide. They were driving on the road, but stopped and texted out to some people saying that they were constantly letting us down. They contacted the police and was on their way to the hospital. My parents and I were out the door 20 minutes later to see them. When we got to the hospital, we were informed what had happened and what was going on with them, which, again, I'm not mentioning. They did the right thing by calling for help. If they hadn't, who knows what would have happened. We ended up taking this person to a mental health center, and they stayed there for about a week. The relative is doing better at the moment. Much better than they were a couple months ago. But there are still things that need to be sorted out and arrangements to be made going forward. With this unfortunate turn of events, my family went home after everything was, for the most part, sorted out. I got back to work on Episode 8, and I had that moment of, this is the one I'm working on. Because of the connection of both the show and real life with someone going to a mental health center, I was not in the mood to work on the episode. So I took a couple of days off, and at one point I thought about delaying and even canceling the episode. But I knew I'd have to upload it with all the other storylines that were taking place. There'd be some serious plot holes otherwise. I did, however, make changes to Totodile's storyline as a result. I removed the Australian actor bit because, from this perspective, it's not funny anymore. It seemed like I was treating what Totodile had as if it were nothing, and that it never existed, and that was not sitting well for me. So I started to come up with a new ending for his story, and after some thinking, I thought it best to just end his story there, with Episode 8, because I wanted to give him a happy ending, but I thought if I brought him back, he would not get one. So for the first time since I first made my elimination order, this is the first change I've ever made to it since I made it over a year ago, probably like last May 2016. That's a rough estimate.
So I removed Totodile from future episodes and I replaced him with somebody else. I'm not saying who I replaced him with, although I think you guys have some sort of an idea. There you have it. That was my plan with Totodile that never came to fruition. I'm glad that I uploaded the episode given the circumstances, and I think everything with Totodile was handled very well. And after reading the positive comments, those told me I made the right decision with everything. Uploading, changing his story, just everything. Although, to be fair, I think had this not happened and I read the comments, I think I still would have changed it, as it would have told me that the storyline was just a bad idea. Lastly, I think my favorite moment with Totodile has yet to come. He's going to get the help he needs, and he's going to return to the show when he's completely back to normal. And he gets the proper closure for what happened in his youth. He might not be back as a contestant, but you never know. And another side note, if you know anybody who's dealing with depression or is suffering mental issues, get them proper help immediately. Don't be a bystander, be a helper. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for the first episode of the Abandoned Side series, Left Behind. It might not have been the most exciting episode, but as the game goes on, the characters will get more exciting, and there will be plenty more to talk about. Tune in next time where we will discuss the next 6 eliminated contestants, one of which you already know is Puchiana, and we'll find out what went into making them, what were their best moments, and maybe even what's to come going forward. So glad you guys enjoyed the episode. That's it for now. This is 231 signing out. Peace.